Hey, I'm Jordan. Welcome back to another video where I help people expand their minds and get in touch with themselves just a little bit more every day anyway. And this video is going to be the first of many where I go in depth more into the chakras. This video starting with root chakra. I'm gonna go in depth and really talk about what it's associated with physically, metaphysically, how it connects to you in our lives, and how we can heal it and work with it, and work with any potential blockages that you realize might be there when you think about root and what it all means. The root chakra is first and foremost associated with the color red. Black works too as a really grounding color. And it's essentially the foundation for all of our energy. It's at the base in our legs and the very base of our spine. And it's like this, it supports the feeling of feeling safe to explore your life, and it's related to the feelings of security, safety in physical and metaphysical. And this is how we ground ourselves to the real world. This area, like I say, is being connected to the lower area of your body and your feet, is associated with strong legs, and in that sense too is stabilizes your stance and better footing, much like the roots of a tree ground a tree into the earth. Your root and your legs ground you into life, and that's exactly why it's also connected to your sense of survival, basic needs, sleep, shelter, self-preservation, just whether you have your basic needs met and your life is secure, you'll have a strong root. And your physical identity, so your physical body and your sense of that, and whether you're just really grounded in who you are, your life and everything in it, unless it's like literally the opposite of being a really flighty person, and really just a strong root is just a final attribute of root is a final really foundation of living our lives. But signs of having an imbalance in that particular energy center could mean being excessively negative, eating disorders, greed and avarice, or illusions and disillusion from life, or excessive feelings of insecurity and living on survival mode and feeling like you just don't have enough. You don't have enough to pay your bills. You don't have enough to get by. And I just can't. And all this self-talk, negativity, negative Nelly, being just really down on yourself all the time. That'll lead to being really ungrounded and really shaken up in your root, because you're being down on yourself all the time. Maybe you're also being codependent on a little bit too much codependent on your family and your friends and your roommates, whichever. Yes, it's good to lean on our people in our lives, but if you're being too codependent on people and you're losing focus just on everything, and you're really struggling to get by. Not that we haven't all gone through that, but those are very much symptoms of having a root chakra that's out of alignment. And working on those things will literally just strengthen your foundation and your root and your feeling of sense of security in your life. And even restlessness and feeling abandoned. Maybe if you ever got abandoned or you don't know your family history, those can also be senses of imbalance in your root. Or not knowing your culture, or a sense of not knowing where you come from. Other areas in the body where it's connected are your colon, bladder, lower back, lower legs and feet, and physically connected, meaning if those things are if you're having issues with those areas, then those could potentially mean that your body is manifesting a blockage in that energy center. These energy centers literally connect to your body from the metaphysical to the physical, as if it's the other side of yourself. It's no different than when I compared Reiki to going and getting a massage for your spirit, for your energy side of yourself. So you've got feet troubles or ankle or leg troubles, or even literally even if you've hurt yourself lots in your life, and those are things that have just come up a lot. Those are literally things in your life that are manifesting as I've had a lot of things in my life to do with ankles and hurting my legs and different things, and it was only until I really started to expand my knowledge of spirituality, and when I learned about Reiki and that taught me about chakras, that I really learned that had happened because those were different ways of manifesting this blockage in my root that I hadn't dealt with since my whole life, just because I hadn't dealt with it. So it was still manifesting in different ways, and I didn't know that. I just thought they were mistaken accidents. But those things are really connected, and even if like with the other organ things, if you're having bladder issues or lower back problems or colon problems, then that could also be a root issue that you're just not quite dealing with, and it's starting to manifest itself into your physical body because it's that much of a block that you're not dealing with. And when you have issues and things, it's no different than when you have a knot in your back or in a muscular area that you haven't dealt with in so long that it starts as a little knot, and then it turns into something bigger and deeper, and a deep tissue massage would help. But if you didn't go when you really needed to go, and eventually it turns into a slip disc or something, or you just put your back out, or if it's in your leg or something, eventually you just really feel like you have tight legs, and eventually it works itself into just being tight muscles. And so that kind of works the same way with energy centers, and just being connected to the body. And if you have a blockage that you're not dealing with, and if you recognize it especially and you're not dealing with it, then it'll find a way to manifest itself into your body. And even too, because root is connected to sense of security, anxiety and fear are a really big senses of imbalances with root. They're kind of the last really big hoorahs of imbalances with it, because they're not they're not necessarily physical, but we feel them. So it's not necessarily something that you're going to feel in your physical body, but going through those emotions is definitely a sign of root imbalance, because you're feeling anxious about whether things will work out with your finances, or whether you can make things work with your family, and your sense of whether you can be a good provider. And so that's leading you to be fearful that that your whole life is working out or not, and that kind of negative self-talk just really spirals, and that's that's what really leads a person to feel ungrounded. And then lo and behold, you feel very ungrounded and unattached to life, and then your roots out of whack. There you go. So ways that you can work with your root is going for walks, or like really go for walks without your headphones on, and just listen to the sounds of nature, and really tune into the rest of the world around you. Tune into animals around you that you come across. Get in touch with your own pets. Even when you're outside, like stomp around on the ground and walk around barefoot is another really good one, because there's a lot of science behind positive ions coming through your feet from the earth and charging your body when you're a little bit maybe low vibe. That you can literally charge yourself by walking barefoot outside. So that's not only a good one to heal root, but it really helps charge you up when you're feeling low. And just doing grounding meditations, like listening to binaural beats and sound bath frequencies. You can search and do your own, or I've got a really great grounding meditation that I've already put down there, and I'm planning on doing a longer one at some point too. Banging your thighs too. If you just sit there and like slap yourself on the thighs, or like spoons like we used to do when we were kids, that's a fun one. That kind of brings you to your inner child too. That's a really great segue. Inner child work is also root work, because I'm a firm believer that when I talked about before about your root being attached to your sense of where you come from, like what your roots are attached to, it sort of really also connects to your inner child from a long time ago. I like that association, because it reaffirms that the root really keeps you not just attached to your sense of security and foundation and who you are, but you're in like life and security, but also is like roots attached to all the rest of where you come from, like how a tree's roots are maybe attached to its other trees. That's a really good analogy too. I like that. And so yeah, stamping around, doing inner child work is hugely helps. And I mean, that can literally be even to like inner child work is so fun. You can, I mean, that can also bang on a few other chakras too, but really kind of connecting with who you were when you were just a little child, and just wanted to have all your needs met and be safe and secure and comforted. Wearing red or accessorizing yourself in red or black, like nail polish or wearing it and saying to yourself, I'm doing this for my root chakra, and feeling grounded. Whatever suits you. Like I say, accessorize, whether it's a hat or a shawl or a shirt that you like, and it really accents your sense of style, then you can feel like you're working on your chakras without even being abnormal about it. You're just accenting yourself, but you're also working in your chakras. And eating red, to me, this one is something to me that I just go by my intuition when I really believe that this helps us connect to our energy centers in different ways, because there's limited science that says, in the fields of mindfulness, so to speak, there's limited science that really supports whether food supports different body parts, but metaphysically, even in a color sense, personally, if I think of the way that things like root vegetables and apples and red meats are all very good for our red meats are good for our muscles. They have proteins and things that are very good for our muscles, so they're very good for our physical body. And root vegetables and apples and beets, and those things are all very, very good for our digestive system. So they are good for root. And eating those things and telling yourself, I'm doing this with intention to work on my root chakra, will just make all the difference. And those, just connecting to all of the things that you take in your day will help you work on your own chakra, much sort of like stretching just to work on your particular muscles and body parts. You can also carry around crystals with you. You can carry around, it doesn't matter. You can be one of those people that has a little cage on your little rear view on your car, or you can keep them in one of those little balls or a satchel in your purse or your backpack or your person. You can just be one of those girls that carries a gem in your bra or something, but it's whatever suits you. Red jasper, ruby, black obsidian, hematite, those are all very good for root healing. And just saying, and even last thing I want to touch on for things that really are good for self-healing are self-affirmations that you say to yourself. And now this doesn't have to be, it doesn't always have to be a long drawn out theme. It can be simple, like just saying to yourself, I'm grounded, I'm safe, I trust more. Or some other really good affirmations that I've come out with are, I'm humble enough to accept help when it's offered. I'm a mountain, immovable and unshakable force. And I'm a source of security and safety for my family. And I'm grounded and rooted to the earth like a tree. And I'm connected to the rest of the world. And so those are just some things that you can do to work on your own root chakra yourself and to connect with it. I hope this resonated with anybody. I hope any of those things really hit home with anybody. And maybe some things that I mentioned you heard and you thought, wow, that actually sounds like something I might have been going through, or gee, I'm not so necessarily connected in that particular area. But those other things, like just connecting to those things and thinking about them and being aware of them, are really, really great ways to be aware of it and connect with it and really own that center of yourself again. So I hope everybody liked this. If you did, throw a like down there. I comment if you got anything out of it, and if you tried any of those things and they worked out for you, let me know too. I'd love to hear feedback. And subscribe if you like the content, and I'll hope to have more soon. Thanks guys, much love, peace.